Senate control is still a toss-up, but in the House, Republicans are still on track to win that majority, though by a much smaller margin than forecasted.
Yeah, and President Biden calls that a strong night for his party. In his first public comments following the election, he was all smiles as he praised Democrats for fighting off a total beatdown. But his victory speech also offered some new insight into his timeline for a decision on running for president again in 2024. And Joe Khalil has more on all of that. Joe.
Hey, good morning, Adrienne. So he took the opportunity right away to say that he felt it was a good night for democracy. Total 180 from the speech he gave before the election, saying democracy was at risk. And he did do a bit of a victory lap, talking about how Democrats well outperformed their expectations, and that even though the Senate is up for grabs right now, and technically so is the House at this point, so many races uncalled, he reminded Americans that it was in the last 40 years, he says, one of the best nights that a party in power had for a midterm election. He also said that voters sent a clear and unmistakable message about democracy itself, with record turnout in a lot of different states. And he adds that state by state, seeing the results coming in shows, in his view, that a lot of voters actually support the way that the administration is handling the challenges facing the country right now.
The overwhelming majority of the American people support the elements of my economic agenda. From rebuilding Americans' roads and bridges to lowering prescription drug costs to historic investment in tackling the climate crisis to making sure that large corporations begin to pay their fair share.
Now, in a response to a question about the economy, the president did acknowledge there are still a lot of Americans that are struggling due to inflation. He says he thinks his policies will help, although they may not take effect right away, that it may take time. And President Biden also revealed he's going to make an announcement about his intentions for 2024 in the next couple of months. He says shortly in the new year. Got a question about who he thought would be a tougher opponent, President Trump or Governor Ron DeSantis, and his response was, it's going to be fun to see them take on each other.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.